In December 2023, I hit a trade that netted me $100,000 before fees using this ICT strategy that works in almost every market condition. In this video, I'm going to break down the entire ICT strategy and how you can copy the same exact method in your trading. Alright guys, so before I actually show you the 100K trade screen recording, I'm going to actually talk about the few concepts that I used in order to find the trade and execute in the trade. So the first thing is going to be the TGIF setup, and if you guys don't know what that is, check out ICT's video from the 2023 mentorship. So TGIF essentially is, we're expecting a raid on liquidity towards the end of the week, you know, a high time frame PD array, and then we're expecting a retracement back into the middle of the range or towards the weekly opening price as they kind of square their positions going into the weekend. So this trade actually happened on Thursday. And what you're kind of going to experience through back testing is, you know, when we have a really large expansion, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if we're hitting a higher time frame PD array, Thursday can actually provide you the TGIF setup that will lead into Friday. And you're going to kind of see me enter the position on Thursday, hold it into New York session open the following day. And this actually occurred on December 29th, which was the last trading day of 2023, which was, you know, kind of a huge day for me. My first 100K trade happened on the last day of the trading year last year. So what we saw and what I'll kind of talk about was we had our Wednesday high. Thursday, we took out buy side liquidity, broke market structure, and then returned to fair value gap / OTE. And then essentially I was entering my position here, holding for new lows towards the weekly open. So just to recap, we have the TGIF setup. Again, if you guys want to take a look and figure out what the TGIF setup is, take a look at ICT's video. I'll put a link in the description. And then we have, you know, external raid or external range liquidity raid, a break in structure, and then a fair value gap / OTE. So we are keeping things very simple, and you might see some standard deviations on my chart as well. But this is essentially the premise of the trade. And, you know, just because this was a really large trade monetarily, that doesn't mean that there was any difference in the execution. Like, the same setup that I was taking when I was making $100 is the same setup that I just took to make 100K. So really you have to focus on the analysis and then the execution. Don't try and get wrapped up in the numbers. You're going to get there at some point. You're going to hit those goals, but try not to force it. All right. So with that being said, let's hop over into screen recording and I'll walk you through the trade step by step. All right. So as we just discussed, we are just going to run through the trade real quick. So here you can see our Wednesday high. We have our central bank dealers range, buy side liquidity being engineered prior to the London session the following day. And you can see my day markers here. So this is Wednesday, this is Thursday. We have our midnight open here. And then we have our 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviations of the central bank dealers range. And if you guys want to take a look at that, I'm sure you guys can, you know, look at core content month 8. It's kind of all discussed in there. So we had our London high, and let me just hit play so you guys can see that this is a live trade, kind of moving around. We had our London high. We had a change in the state of delivery. So we had this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, which was violated to the downside. And then we had a market structure shift and displacement going into New York session. And we had a Fibonacci. Well, I drew my Fibonacci. I anchored the high from this swing high to this swing low. And then we had a retracement into the London close. So this was our London close OTE that you can see that I entered. This was actually just one position. And when I start scaling out, it'll start. Actually, no, sorry. This is 2 positions. And when I scaled out, you know, it allows me to just kind of close one position and then possibly leave another position on. I mean, you can do it either way. You can trim partials on one large position, or you can open 2 positions and then manage them separately. So this is supposed to be FVG. Don't look at I of FVG. This is not an inverted fair value gap. So we had our fair value gap entered on this OTE, and you can see I almost got stopped out. Like I went into 50% drawdown on this stop. But, you know, I was confident in the trade and that it would pan out over, you know, on the last trading day of the year, I was expecting a pretty deep retrace as we were kind of pushing higher and higher going in towards the end of December. You could see that during the Asian session, we had our central bank deals range again. We took that out early into this fair value gap. You can see that I just collapsed half the position there as we were approaching one standard deviation, our midnight open and then trading towards our weekly open, right? So this is our TGIF essentially, but it occurred on Thursday, right? So we had the buy side liquidity purge on Thursday, right? But this could have been our TGIF trade if you didn't take this Thursday position. But essentially this was my one shot, one kill, where I entered and just held it into the New York session open on Friday. So this is right around, this is actually before New York session open. This is during London. So I closed majority, I'm pretty sure I collapsed the whole trade during London as I didn't want to hold it into New York. And this is just my account dashboard on Traders Connect. So you can see that if I pause this, Fund Engineer 20K, TFT about 22K, 23K, my fund at FX 11,500, SFT about 12.6, FTMO almost 18,000, True Funded Forex, True Forex Funds was 16,000. Yeah, so going back to the chart, pretty much everything that I talked about, you can visibly see on the chart. It's just about being able to see this real time and analyze and forecast what you're actually expecting in the marketplace, right? Because a lot of it comes from experience, a lot of it comes from being able to read the candles real time, and that just takes time. It's not something that you can shortcut, right? So before this video ends, you're going to see the payout certificates. Feel free to scan them or reach out to the owners of the prop firms. You can validate them if you want. And I hope you guys found value in this and start using some of these concepts and building upon your trading edge. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.